أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد ومحمد. يا إخواني وأخواتي, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters, may the peace of Allah be upon you, inshallah. So, we continue with this article of Siti Mulyana and Muhammad Nasruddin from Indonesia regarding the footsteps of Wali Songo as the shaper of the Islamic tradition of Islam Nusantara, which is the embodiment of the Islamic interpretation in the archipelago of Indonesia and most widely in the Indo-Malay Filipino peninsula, because they are all related to some extent. So, chapter D, Wali Songo as an agent for shaping the tradition of Islam Nusantara. So, Wali Songo, the 9 saints, maybe there were more, maybe 9, we're gonna see, is just a symbolic number, but it was a reality of an active da'wah, active organ of an organization of propagation of Islam in a certain way. It was shaped, it was with some specific content. So many countries or region of the world in history reverted for political reason, sometimes without sufficient substance, Islamic substance, ruhani, related to the spiritual realm, but it was not the case of Indonesia. It has a reversion strong tied with the implementation and the reuse of the spiritual potentiality of this region. That's why it's important and remarkably strong, even with the test of time. It is something that is in the DNA of the Islamic acceptation of the Indo-Malay people. So Wali Songo as an agent for shaping the tradition of Islam Nusantara. And which is interesting is that this influence is in fact external. But there is some symbiosis between the two. Wali Songo is the understanding of Indonesian society. So Wali Songo in the understanding of Indonesian society is a term associated with figures who played a role in the spread of Islam in Indonesia, especially in Java in the 15th and 16th century AD. For the Javanese, this figure who are member of Wali Songo are believed to be religious broadcasters, so religion first, but with a deep understanding of science, so ilm, possessing supernatural powers. In fact, it is related to their understanding of Islam, which is broader than the exoteric meaning, which most of the time only touch on Sharia, sometimes even philosophical, but with no ground and not deep rooting to the spiritual realm. That's why there is the difference. There is materialistic philosophy, for example, like it is existing in the West. It is not, maybe the principles are related to the spiritual realm, but long time ago they removed this relation. So this is a materialistic philosophy, like you found in the German, like you found in the French, in the Anglo-Saxon tradition, America, whatsoever. even Spinoza, stuff like that in the Latin or Spanish southern part of Europe. So you have this kind of materialistic philosophy, and you have some theosophy, which is related to God, which is related to the links between creator and creation. So when you go this way, you are in the spiritual realm. When you study philosophy on the basic ground of the materialistic approach, you don't enter this realm of spirituality. That's why you are in fact in the exoteric field and not ظاهر and not الباطن. So this is a difference. So they are believed by the population as being religious broadcasters with a deep understanding of science, possessing supernatural powers. So understanding science, العلوم, is not contradictory with possessing deep insight. This is a trick that is used by the West, that is used even by devil forces. It's to make you believe that because you believe in deep meaning, in kind of relation between creature and the creator, you have in fact against science, which is not the case. Which is not the case. In fact, in the old conception, even from the Greek, the metaphysical is the first physics. So the upper physics and the physics as we know, which is the material physics in this earth, is the second physics. So in fact, from the point of view of man, of materialistic man, the first and only physics is the physics that he can be in contact with. But for the unlighted man, it is the first physics is the physics from emanating from the creator to the creature. So this is the most important physics, metaphysical. And so the physics of materialistic things is in fact the second physics and not the true physics, because all the principles are in the metaphysical world, which is closer to the spiritual realm. And you have to understand that. So, with deep understanding of science, possessing supernatural powers, magic, and sacredness. So, magic, like in fact you can find in this kind of book. So, in my trip in Indonesia to martial arts study, I came with some books, and I studied these books, which is شمس المعارف الكبرى from أحمد البني with المتوفي ب 622 هجرية. So a today Algerian scholar of the past, which had the most comprehensive encyclopedia on spiritual, not only magic, not only theurgy, so kind of white magic for the time. It's an interesting book. You don't have to be specifically interested in any magical aspect to benefit from this book, because it is full of dua, it is full also of meaning of علم الحروف, so the meaning of the letters, some invocation, some also tradition related from Prophet Muhammad and so on. Special mention to even some mention of Al-Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, which is the sixth Imam of the Ithna Ashariya and shared Imam with Ismailiyya and so on. So in fact, it is a compendium which had influence to Indonesia, influence to Iran, even to Balad al-Sham. So the great Surya. So it was a scholar from East Algeria, which is also my place of birth, because my mother is from Algeria and my father from southern Lebanon. So my mother is from East Algeria, from a great family of scholars of the Shadliya, Nasriya. So it is well-known family which even teached with to the Ottoman authority before colonization of Algeria by France. So Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, it is a book that illustrates this kind of tradition, a tradition that was in vogue at that time. So a tradition deep in spirituality, between links with science, العلوم الفلكي, also astronomical notion, also some which had direct influence on the Muslim society, Muslim esoteric society of the time. That's why you have interpretation coming from this book, even in Iran, Safavid Iran, which is also a kingdom that revived some tradition of the Maghrebi interpretation of spirituality. There is a huge influence with Ibn Arabi of Andalusia. He was from the city of Murcia, even from his origin is Yemeni by the paternal line. His mother was a Berber from Algeria also, and he was living in Islamic Spain, Andalusia. And so he moved to Morocco, to Algeria, to Tunisia, and stuff like that, and went to Damascus. He is buried in actual Syria. So it is very interesting to note. At the time of my departure, I didn't expect that the link was so close. I took this book for study because I study some books. I make my notes. I had also make the opportunity to make notes on martial arts, to design the logo I have here during my trip and stuff like that. So it was an interest for me. Maybe I have some notation. So this is my study of martial art with Kong Sisep, Arif Rahman. So I took notes on the movements, stuff like that. Some and also studied this particular book. I don't know where it is. So there is some of my notes regarding the study of this book. It is the way I travel. Every time I travel, I study something in active manner by encountering peoples and stuff like that. But I also take some lectures, and I do also my own studies in my rest time, if I can speak of that. So, Shams al-Ma'arif al-Kubra, a must-have. Even you don't have anything to do with the magical application and stuff like that, it is a book to study, because after the rise in power of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, many of the branch of esoteric knowledge were removed. For those who don't know, Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, which was a Kurd, removed all the Maktaba of the Ismailites of the Fatimid states. He put it in the Nile. So it was removed from posterity. So huge science and he is one of the architects of the demise of the Islamic civilization. And he was from the Kurds, and the Kurds are known in Kitab al-Kafi and also some other riwayat, even from Umar ibn Khattab, as being from some kind of disobedient jinns. So it is in the scriptural tradition, you believe it or not, is another topic. But normally, in the Sunnah, we took and we take these people with suspicion. We don't accept them as leader or as reviver of the faith, like Ibn Taymiyyah and stuff like that. All the Kurds plundered Islam with their behavior and with their demolition of spirituality and also guidance. So, without Shams, the spirituality start to resemble a candle and not anymore a sun in the realm of Islam. That's why you have to justify of even holding the belief that there is a spiritual path in Islam nowadays, because there is many people from dubious birth that will jump on you and accuse you of shirk or whatever in their poor mind understanding. So, according to Prof. Dr. Simu, as it is quoted by Agus Sunyoto, Wali Songo's terminology is the embodiment of the cosmological concept of Nawa Dewata. So this is from the study of some scholars which like to link some stuff with a tradition of the past. So the tradition of Nawa Dewata, which is older than the view of Islam in the archipelago, which has developed among Javanese and Balinese Hindus who believe that the universe is guarded and protected by the gods guarding the cardinal directions. So, from the point of view of Agus Sunyonto, there is a link between the conception of Wali Songo and the Nawa Dewata. But Wali Songo existed physically, and we're gonna see have name and have biographical material regarding their origin. So, Wali Songo terminology. So, the Wali Songo terminology is the embodiment of the cosmological concept of Nawa Dewata, which has developed among Javanese and Balinese Hindu who believe that the universe is guarded and protected by the gods guarding the cardinal direction. So, north, east, south, west. North, east, south, west. Cardinal direction. There are 8 gods who control the 8 cardinal directions, so even more, because there is a subdivision. So it is in fact north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest. So there are 8 gods who control the 8 cardinal direction, and what god as the ruler of the central direction? So there are 9. So for this conception, the center is also a direction. مركز باللغة العربية. In other words, the selection of the term Wali Songo is a takeover from the Hinduistic concept of Nawa Dewata to the Sufistic concept of Wali 9. So it is a point of view. It is not an Islamic universal, truth, but this is the point of view of Agus Sunyonto, Atlas Wali Songo, Boku, Pertama Yang, Mengu Kap, Wali Songo, Tsebagai, Fakta, Shajara. So, City of Depok, Lesbumi, PBNU, 2017, page 1. 142, 147. If you study more about Wali Songo, you will not only find Wali Songo figures who have become famous in the ears of the Indonesian people, such as Sunan Gresik, Sunan Ampel, Sunan Giri, Sunan Drajat, Sunan Bonong, Sunan Kalijaga, Sunan Muria, Sunan Kudus, and Sunan Teak Mountain. So Sunan is an honorific title of this Wali Songo individuals. This is because Wali Songo is a da'wah institution, so an institution of propagation with regular and continuous member changes and has experienced several management periods of change. So in fact, the 9 Wali Songo is not an ultimate truth in the arrangement of this Wali Songo or their number. Maybe more, well, I think there is more than 9. The first period includes, and this is the very interesting part of the data regarding their identity, because there is some, for educated Muslim scholars or students, there is some indication of their origin. So even in the text by the author, but also in their name, because they have, in fact, Sunan Gresik and all that. This is the name given by Indonesian people, but they have also a name given by their parents, who attest some interesting data on their ethnicity. So the first period include Maulana Malik Ibrahim, which is known as Sunan Gresik. So in fact, Maulana Malik Ibrahim. So for those who don't know, Maulana is a formula coming straight from Shi'ism, from even from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. It is used in this use by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. In the event of Ghadir Khum, so in his last pilgrimage. So قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله من كنت مولى فعلي موله. So from which I am, it is sometimes translated by friend, by support, but in fact mawla, it's derived from awwal, and awwal means first. So in fact, it is a proof of walaya, a word that given in English loyalty. Al-walaya تحت ولايتي. It is in fact given in European language loyalty in French also, and loyalty in English. So in fact, a mawla and Maulana, our Mawla, it is in fact a man which we give predecessors even to our blood related in terms of loyalty. So he comes first, and it is the concept of walaya, which was later used as wilaya by the Sufi, but the original term is walaya and is linked to first loyalty. And it is used also in the pre-Islamic era between tribes. So tribe can be associated by a more prestigious or powerful tribe and become, there is vassality between them. Wasality is also from Arabic root. This concept of loyalty, vassality, are straight inherited but by the Arabic conception. أهلا. So, Maulana Malik Ibrahim, which is Sunan Gresik. Maulana Ishaq, another Arabic name, and Muslim name, of course, with no much indication. Maulana Ahmad Jumadil Kubra. Interesting. Maulana Muhammad Al-Maghribi. So here we have an indication of the origin of the man. So in this Wali Songo, in this 9th sense, you have some really sounding names, but you get also some indication of the origin of some protagonist. And here we got a man from Morocco. Maulana Muhammad al-Maghribi. So al-Maghrib al-Aqsa, it is Morocco. So we have not only Arabs, not only Egyptian and Middle Eastern, but you have also people from Al-Maghrib. Maulana Malik Israel, at that time, there is not linked with the state of Israel. So Israel here is Al-Isra, meaning ascension, and Il reflect the spirit of God, so the ascension of God, literally. Maulana Muhammad Ali Akbar. Maulana Hassanuddin, which I think we encountered in this book, and which was prevalent in the design of Panchaksilat. Maulana Aliuddin and Sheikh Subakir. So it is the first generation, I think, or the first settlers and broadcasters, and after that there is a time of replacement, adaptation of some of the individuals. So sorry, there is a professor Jeffrey Lunk which write this thing. So he post one message, but there is a kind of already kind of irrespectful behavior, because he make two copy paste of the same message. So hello, Professor Jeffrey Lunk. Hello, I invite you to enter Islam. Read the Holy Quran. So maybe a convert which had another time in this troubled world the audacity to consider other people which has interest in some spiritual content related to Islam history, to consider them as kuffar, literally, because he don't consider me as a Muslim, and he invite me as a revert he is to convert in Islam and read the Holy Quran. So I will be straight to the point. I don't know if I can express this easily in English, but in French we got an expression for this. So there is some what is called pièces rapportées. It's like pieces which are external from a tradition. They are no genetically linked to this. They didn't struggle for it for a particular tradition during a generation. They are spontaneous twist on people which are considered by our tradition from dubious, sometimes origin or even birth, which is problematic in the field of Islam. And the complex of all this duality, complexity, even in their lineage and brood relation, which resulted in their birth, gives them some boost to boast and to advertise their conversion or so-called finding of truth. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Dear Professor Jeffrey Long, I'm Muslim from birth. I have also parents in some religious channels in the Muslim world. Things I don't think you have. If you have, it's good for you. But I don't need this kind of arrogant advices from someone who should at least shut his mouth from this time to the rest of his life to concentrate in the reading of the Quran and implementing some kinds of modesty in his path. So praise be to God, you are a Muslim. You have not Alhamdulillah salam, but you have not the monopoly of being Muslim. So you have to keep in your place. You are not here to make some da'wah or to convert mankind. You are not a prophet. You stay in your lane. Islam is a target worldwide. For those who don't know, I even encountered at an individual level some problems due to my faith with some states, some discrimination, some detainment and stuff like that. So I will not have a strong patience to deal with the newcomers of any kind. So because in 1419 AD, Maulana Malik Ibrahim died, he was replaced by Radan Rahmad Ali Rahmatullah, Sunan Ampel. So I willingly read what is written. I will not try to change. There is wrote Rahmad, not Rahman, not Ahmad. So I read it how it is written because it is maybe the way, or maybe they come from other part of the Muslim world and there is some disfiguration of the correct spelling. He was replaced. So because in 1419 AD, Maulana Malik Ibrahim died, he was replaced by Radan Rahmad Ali Rahmatullah, which is known as Sunan Ampel, which is well known as a figure of the Wali Songo. In 1435 AD, Maulana Malik Israel and Muhammad Ali Akbar also died, which was later replaced by Sayyid Ja'far Sadiq, which is in fact Sunan Quddus, which is here written with a K. So Sayyid Ja'far Sadiq. So Ja'far Sadiq is a well-known individual in the history of Islam. This is the Imam of sixth Imam of the Shia, Imam Ja'far Sadiq. He was also a teacher of Abu Hanifa in fiqh and Imam Malik. This is just a coincidence, but by Sayyid, so his name is Ja'far Sadiq, maybe in relation to the sixth Imam of the Shia, but is also a Sayyid. A Sayyid is one which is considered as a straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad by the paternal line and resuming to being a descendant of Imam al-Hassan, which is a son of Fatima bint Muhammad, Sayyidatul Nisa al-Alamin, and Ali bin Abi Talib. So the gender of Prophet Muhammad and his daughter. So there I have two grandsons, Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein. And when you descend by this line from the paternal side, you are considered as a Sayyid. So an Arabized by ethnicity, العرب المستعربة القديمة. So an Ismailite Arab descendant from Prophet Muhammad. And so this is interesting. In fact, we have here a descendant, straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad in the name of Sayyid Ja'far al-Sadiq, someone which was accepted as such and boasted this kind of shajara, of relation in his lineage. And Siyarif Hidayatullah, which is Sunan Gunan Jati. So Sharif Hidayatullah. Sharif is the same thing. Sharif means in Arabic honorable, and Sharif, he is also a straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad via the paternal line. So here we have Sunan Qudus and Sunan Gunung Jati, which are both Sadat. So there is a switch at this time, and two elders were replaced from by straight Sadat, so straight descendant of Prophet Muhammad. This period was later referred to as the second period of Wali Songo. In the third period, there were four guardians who replaced the previous guardians, namely Radan Paku, so Sunan Jiri, replacing Maulana Ishaq, Radan Said, so Said, here it's related to Sa'id, which means rejoiceful in Arabic, which is Sunan Kalijaga, replacing Sheikh Subakir, and Radan Makdoum Ibrahim, Sunan Bonong, replacing Maulana Hassanuddin, and Radan Qasim, Sunan Darajat, were replaced Maulana Aliuddin. So the next period was marked by the entry of Radan Fatah and Fatullah Khan, who replaced Ahmad Jumad al-Kubra and Muhammad Maghribi. The last period, Sunan Muria, so here there is a comment, watch your channel content. I have tips for you. You can write any tips you want. I didn't ask for those because I already had many channels in the past, some of them in French language and other attaining decent number of subscribers, but I'm not against I'm not on chasing subscribers, stuff like that. So I prefer to do my live the way I want. So the more the easiest way to do it is to stream direct, and it is my way of doing. That's why my nickname is Ustaz, because I give lesson like that, the original way, not the copy paste way or the it's not some advertisement. It's some content that can be listened in a car, in work, and stuff like that. So the last period, Sunan Muria entered the Wali Songo Council it is estimated that he replaced Radin Fatah, who ascended the throne of the first Sultan of Demak. So there is also some accession to power in the destiny of some of the Wali Songo. So they even made some Islamic states here and here and stuff like that. So this is the case of Radin Fatah, who ascended the throne of the first Sultan of Demak. And Radin Qasim, Sunan Darajat, who replaced Maulana Aliuddin. So the next period was marked by the entry of Radin Fatah and Fatullah Khan, who replaced Ahmed Jumad al-Kubra and Muhammad al-Maghribi. The last period, Sunan entered the Wali Songo Council. It estimated the so there is some repetition here, maybe some mistakes. So I'm gonna not read that stuff. There is problem of edition. There is some repetition and stuff like that. So Nusantara Islamic Cultural Movement, page 240 by Noor Khaliq Redwan. The saints mentioned above all have nasab from various nations. So to make some last promotion to this Professor Jeffrey Long, I will read before removing him from this channel, because he don't have the openness, don't have knowledge even in his so-called sect of reversion. Is not considered as something as someone of beneficial input. So I will remove it. So I will read before concluding. So hello, I am the true to enter Islam. Read the Holy Quran. Okay, he wrote this 2 times. Praise be to God, you are a Muslim. Okay, so he accepted me as a Muslim in the beginning. Not watch your channel content. I have tips for you. So he was literally trying to improve my channel by some advices, or I don't know. So I was cordial with him. So just after that, do not enter in the distorted teams. Okay. Pray people to correct Islam and the Quran. So pray people to correct Islam and the Quran. So this is and the summary does not enter into Shiite teams, but rather call to the true Islam. So in fact, in some short interversion of his, we got an illustration of his niyyah, of his inner intention. And one more time, this man used trickery to interact with me, and I smelled from the get-go this kind of behavior. That's why he was a little harsh, even in his 2 first comments, which was manifestly some scams. I let him express himself. You have a summary of the ID of the content, and we can wish him a salutary afterlife, inshallah, for him. Maybe he have some true intention, but this degree of lowness in interacting with people is synonymous to block in my channel. I'm free to do so. That's why I see another comment of him. I will read this other comment and block him for good. I wish you all the best. Goodbye. مع السلام. I wish you all the best to. Uh, we don't share the same beliefs. We don't share the same approach. It is understandable. I will not come in your channel to spam and to promote this call or this call. I do it freely as I want to do in my own channel, sometimes promoting even some other school, and I don't have time and energy to waste in that behavior. That's why I will block you just right now, but hope you the best in your development and in your way in connecting with God. مع السلامة. So at the end, he was cordial. I blocked him, and I don't have too much time to waste. So the saint mentioned above all have nasab, so nasab, nisba, in fact, relation from various nations. So their name, in their name, there is indication of their relation to various nations. So the saints mentioned above all have nasab from various nations, some of which most of them came from Arab, Egyptian, Persian, Gujarat, and Samarkandi, who married the native Majapahit and Pajajaran. So most of them came from Arab, Egypt, number three, Persian, number four, Gujarat, and also Samarkandi from Samarkand. So Samarkand is Uzbekistan, and which who married the natives of Majapahit and Pajajaran. So Samarkandi mixed with people of Majapahit of ancient kingdom of Indonesia and stuff like that. So on the Samarkandi kind, there is some relation, intermarriage with the indigenous people of Indonesia. The other were straight import, and even the mixed were Samarkandi by the paternal line. So it is interesting to note, and it doesn't mean also that later this Arabs, Persian, Gujaratis, and Egyptian and stuff like that never mixed after their installation. But primarily, this Wali Songo were not from Indonesian in terms of ethnicity. From the mother line, so we have some precise information from the mother line. Raden Patah and Sunan Ampel are descendants of the king of Champa. So Champa is in fact Champa is in fact Cambodia, who originally came from Samarkandi. So for those who don't know, the Samarkandis, Uzbekistan at that time were a huge place of scholars, got scholars which were fluent in Persian. Persian was the language of Uzbekistan, and also there is some writings of this region influenced even the whole Muslim world by their literary output. So it is a place known for this its erudition. And so they're intermixed with the Champa, which is between Cambodia and Vietnam. And it should be noted that there are no Wali Songo clerics who have direct blood relation with the Chinese, which is an interesting point. So, Islamisasi di Java, Yogyakarta, Pustaka Pelajar, 2000, page 20, from Ridin Sofwan. Basically, they do not live at the same time, but have a close relationship both in blood relations, nasab, and scientific relations, teacher-student. So, for the case of Raden Patah and Sunan Ampel, which are Samarkandi by paternal ethnicity with a mother ethnicity from Champa, Cambodia. And they were, it seems, they were related to the nobility of Champa. And have similar, even they are not from the exactly the same era, they are similar blood in terms of ethnicity and mix, and also scientific relation like teacher student, stuff like that. The Wali Songo period can be said to be a reform of the Islamization process in Indonesia. Previously, the spread of Islam tended to be individual without organizational management. So maybe some fisher came, some trader came, installed in Indonesia, mixed by marriage, stuff like that, have a descendants, and or teach some Islamic verse and stuff like that, and step by step, individual by individual, there was some spontaneous conversion, but not in a systematic manner, like an organization of propagation, like a da'wah, concept of da'wah in Islamic faith. It was only during this period that the process of Islamization was carried out with good, organized, systematic, and sustainable principles of organization. The use of da'wah methods with neat approaches and strategies make Islam a religion that is easily accepted by the people of Indonesia. So the use of soft, in fact, da'wah methods, so with politeness, with respect also for differences and stuff like that, made the religion easily accepted by an already traditional indigenous mass which was well known, acquainted with the practice of Buddhism and Hinduism. For those who don't know, even in some interpretation and biographical material of the classic era of Islam, you have many scholars that identified Zulkifl as, in fact, Buddha, because Zulkifl in Quran, which is a Quranic combination of words, refer for some colors are as Buddha, which means enlightened, but in fact Buddha was born in Kapil Nadu, Isville. Nadu mean city, and Kapil is the name of the city, and you see the link between Kapil and Kifl. And many times the F become a P, or the P become a F. That, like in some from the Indo European language, which is the family, semantic family of language from India and language from Iran, for example. That's also why you got in European language, which are derived from Indo-European language. Paradise, paradis, in French, paradis. In English, paradise, and in Arabic, firdaus. So, in many times, the P become a F in Arabic. And there is many example. And firdaus also is a word, a Quranic word, but which was well established in the Persian language. And some consider that the word is Persian by origin, like some other word used by Arabs, like ustad, for example. For some people, it is of Persian origin. So there is some theories about that. So in fact, if Buddha was in fact the prophet Zulkifl, you can understand that in fact even the Buddhist faith was distorted and came as distorted in the southeast. There is an implementation of a prophetic teachings, and you have these similarities between the sutra and the surat, the writings, satir, and this kind of tradition. So that's why the switch to the Buddhist approach to the Islamic approach was in fact more easy than it looks from the eyes of Westerners. And that's exactly why sometimes I have to remove some Westerners that took too much space in my personal space. You know, you have to manage the Westerners because they tend to come with their big foot in your plate. And this is something which is not in phase with al-adab, with the conduct of Muslim dignitaries, and also those we are in relation to Arabity, and also the Sadat, the caste of the descendant of Prophet Muhammad. We cannot abase ourselves to deal equally with this kind of invaders in terms of civilization, culture, and stuff like that. So I prefer to be harsh, straight, and honest about it. They played their partition, we play ours. And we are not in the same boat. So people who can handle this kind of truth are welcomed. Those can go another way. There is no acceptation of everyone. So the use of da'wah methods with neat approaches and strategies make Islam a religion that is easily accepted by the people of Indonesia. So that is the end of this part. التمس الدعاء Allah ma'akum. So I ask you to make some dua for me, inshallah. It will be a reward for me and a good act for you. And I wish you a pleasant continuation in peace. مع السلامة.